McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
wonderful Monday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 13th day of the month of October, 2025. This is once again The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, with me, your host, Shelton Daniel, alongside my co-host and co-producers, Miguel Evelyn Favrier and Terence Fenelon. I hope you had a great weekend and looking forward deservedly to another wonderful week. Our program, as you know, it airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 megahertz north and 91.5 for the southern part of the island. We're also available on NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and we are on YouTube live streaming as well. All right, so where do we start? You know, regarding this massive, look at people crowd yesterday at Shock on the grounds of Caribbean Cinemas, I believe the owners and managers of Caribbean Cinemas would be asking the Labour Party, please, can you have something like that? Can you have something like that every weekend or every fortnight and so on? Because it's going to be bigger than anything we have ever had there. And I wonder what else that can be hosted there or anywhere else. But you know, it's still early days. It's still early days. I hear people talking about when Kenny Anthony was launched back in 1997. And I agree, that was huge. That was massive. But I'm telling you, this election campaign, this Labour Party, of which Kenny Anthony is still a part. I mean, just look at the places Kenny Anthony has come out. The launching of Danny Butcher, the Labrie annual conference of the constituency group there just recently, Wednesday last week. Look at the kind of pull and impact that Kenny Anthony. We haven't heard the last of Kenny Anthony. Last night I heard a little mistake, you know, where someone said, who's giving their outgoing speech and their final speech and so on. Not really. Virginia Albert Poyot is still the MP for Babonneau until Parliament is dissolved, okay? Until Parliament is prorogued. She remains a minister in the executive branch of government, in the cabinet. And you know, that will even go beyond the elections. A lot of people think that because Parliament is dissolved, the cabinet is dissolved. That's not true. Parliament is dissolved. Parliament is prorogued. But the executive continues and the cabinet remains until a new cabinet is sworn in. Otherwise, the country would be without government. Otherwise, the country would be without a prime minister. Otherwise, the country would be without a minister of this and a minister of that. So the cabinet is not prorogued. Not until a new cabinet is sworn in. The executive remains functional. It remains intact. But the parliament, that is who's the MP for this and that reaches until the point of the prorogation. Now, talking about yesterday's, I know Terry and Miguel are going to do more than justice. They're locked and loaded. They're ready and raring and chomping at the bit. I just want to make a couple of points. First of all, this is the first time in all the years I have known Philip Joseph Pierre that he seemed to be losing his voice. You know, he seemed to be going a little bit hoarse. The Prime Minister is a hardworking man. And in this campaign, in the outings, in the speeches, nobody works harder than him. And so it's very easy for him to suffer overuse of the voice. My only surprise is that it hadn't happened sooner, because he really has been using his voice. But I just want to say something. Maybe, whoever is managing the overall campaign of the Labour Party, and that's just a suggestion from Shelton Daniel, okay, probably need to look at some kind of voice training or some kind of voice coaching. Because if not, as the demands of the campaign go on, we might find that what happened to the Prime Minister, he never lost his voice, okay? But you could hear the voice was not the same as it was at the start, as it was on other occasions. Maybe they need to look at some voice coaching or some voice training, and that's not for the Prime Minister. There's too many other people I find who have a tendency to shout. You know, in other words, to strain their voices more than they need to. Now, it may not be the voice training. It probably needs to do something with the sound equipment arrangement, that when people don't hear themselves or they have difficulty hearing themselves, they believe there is something wrong with the sound system. And there's nothing wrong with the sound system. It is simply that the speakers that carry their voices are turned away from them, facing the crowd. And that usually is done for maximum effect, of course. And for the second reason, to avoid feedback. Because if you have the speakers pointing back towards the microphone, it's very easy for you to have feedback. But feedback is something which can be managed. If the people in charge of the sound, if they know what they're doing, there are certain frequencies that you suppress them and certain ones. And there's also a vital piece of equipment called a stage monitor. Okay, a stage audio monitor. So the person who's speaking, they can have this monitor facing them or towards them, and they can know that they're being heard. They can hear themselves without the feedback frequencies creating problems in their microphone, etc. So maybe there's a little tweaks that need to be looked at. The people who work in sound, they should know them. Although I have found it quite astonishing that many times I encounter people who work in sound and their lack of knowledge about basic things. A lot of people don't know how to set and adjust an equalizer, you know? So they'll always have the problem of feedback and of muffled sound and so on, because either they push all the levels right up or they keep them all in a straight line or they push them right down, whatever. They don't know how to adjust. In fact, some people who work in sound or who purport to work in sound, they don't even know how to adjust the microphone stand. Somebody's on, a taller person comes, they go and they thing it, and the next thing you know, the mic is drooping back down, the mic is spinning this way because they don't know which knobs and so on for them to tighten, which ones to loosen, which one to bring it this way, which way to extend the arm. I find a lot of this kind of thing. Some people working in sound, or they like to tamper because, you know, there's some people, the moment they see mic and speaker, they feel it's a show-off thing, I suspect, for them to go and, you know, mess around with it and so on. And then they don't even know how to collect a microphone. Miguel, I found somebody was working in radio for a long time. And one day, the person didn't know how to connect a microphone with an XLR cable. You know? And I said, how they put? I said, you in radio for so long. It was a lady. He said, I never did that. I said, what? You don't know how to connect a microphone? You know, the 3-pin XLR and so on. And, you know, this time, it really astonished me. So maybe there needs to be a looking at this thing, because as you go ahead with the Labour Party, the hard-working voices, you don't want them breaking down. And thirdly, when the Prime Minister appeared to be, his voice seemed to be struggling, there should have been somebody in terms of the support staff, in terms of the people who are there to know to bring him something, whether it's a little bit of unchilled water, whether it is a little bit of non-alcoholic cordial, you know, some kind of little thing that can just soothe his rather quickly and so on. You can't give him a sweet or a mint at that time. You know, that's not something he can stop. But give him something that he can just take a sip of and, you know, give it back to you right away to relax him and so on. You need to get those things down pat. Don't let those little things throw you off for people to hear ever our Prime Minister sounding like Dominic Fede. You know, country back, you know, and nobody can do it but Dominic, you understand? You know, the coolie voice, you know, you don't want that to happen. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. But our Prime Minister, as usual, great, superb, well-loved, well-liked, well-received. People just can't wait for Bosla, you know? You know, they be Bosla with you know, the whole place shell down. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention very quickly before I hand over to Terry and Miguel. To me, in our country, there's a problem with internet service. Mm-hmm. I keep saying it, and one day I was saying it while co-hosting a program with a friend for decades. You know, the individual is a brand ambassador for Flow, and right there on air, I backed off because I didn't like the vibe of the two of us clashing. I wonder why he was taking me to task. What kind of service you have? What kind of plan you have? Maybe it's the plan you have. And I said, but why is that person who normally fires on all guns? Until I checked that this is a brand ambassador for Flow. So he didn't want, you know, to be sitting there and seeming not to be defending Flow. So I backed off, you know. It's not an attack on Flow or on Digicel or on anybody. To me, the stage we are at since the day we got into internet and mobile telephony and all this kind of things, the radio signals, I can't be in this building here at MBC when I'm in the studio. Say I have a mobile plan where I get 4G. I'm getting it in the studio. I walk over there down the corridor and it's HI and how many bars and it's weak and it's not powering things. I go outside in the vehicle, it's there. I reach on another corner where I pull up to do some work and it's gone, you know. This is St. Lucia, 238 square miles. We have so many towers and cell towers and all these sorts of things. Even in the hilliest of places, you pass this road that they call Chopin, which connects the Santa Fe, Sarat area to Badeni and so on. You pass through there and so on. I mean, I was remarked one day where a vehicle had a fire in Bexon, so there was a detour because you couldn't pass through and so on. I think a man died and so on in that thing. And you go there and you see massive cell towers in the forest in this thing. So it means we have done a good job with the infrastructure, with the laying of the cables, the fiber optics. But I do not know. Internet service, we too backward in it. This is the day where we should already at least have been experimenting with 5G. Where you have the 4G, but you can't get it from here to over there. I mean, there's just too much. And I'm just thinking, I hear a lot of things had to do with internet service, including it may have affected us here at MBC. People have been messaging me about the unavailability of Zafin. No, I knew there was a power outage at one time. I don't know what it caused and so on. But, you know, it's time for our government to begin to think, and maybe not as our government alone, but the ECTEL states, you know, even Antigua, which cannot be a member of ECTEL because its state utility provider is also the regulator. Antigua and Barbuda Public Utilities Authority. So they're saying you cannot be the service provider and be the regulator. But we need to, because I know Gaston Brown spoke about that many years ago, investing about $20 million in procuring the state's own undersea, subsea, fiber optic cable, whatever, so that the internet service in the country would be better. Do it through APUA, but then you could also sell bandwidth and whatever to the other service providers. We need to start thinking whether it's a government and private sector partnership, whether it's government taking it up, make the CIP fund it, but we need to do something to get better communications, data, voice, and other transfer in St. Lucia. And we need to look at whether it's time for us to venture, even if we do it carefully, tentatively, into the world of 5G. High-speed internet, high-capacity internet is essential for our development, especially in the field of education and human resource development. We need to get there. The other area I think we need to look at, when I hear all this thing about whether government was paying insurance for the police and whether police had insurance coverage. By the way, Mr. Law, I believe if you see Prime Minister Pierre did not come out and robustly rebut and refute what you were alleging, you would never come back and correct yourself, you know? But because the Prime Minister came out forcefully and said it's not true, the government has been paying it. It's the invoicing from whatever the service provider that has not been forthcoming and so on. I believe if you were able to sneak in one there, you know, sneak in one on the government to get some kind of little, you know, mileage of propaganda, you'd have gone ahead with it. But I'm happy the Prime Minister, like Richard Frederick, I admire their politics. They don't let you get away with things. They come at you robustly. They come at you forcefully. They give it to you and so on, whatever, and they present, as Richard likes to say, the facts. But that's not where I'm going. I believe insurance coverage in this country is lacking. It's lacking because the insurance service providers are, by and large, private, profit-driven providers. Is where they're making the money, they'll go. But there needs to be an expanded coverage that takes account of the needs of the people. And I keep mentioning Antigua because society I've lived and I studied a lot. You know, they have a massive insurance company called State Insurance Corporation. State Insurance Corporation. And as its name suggests, it is owned by the state. And it provides life insurance, health insurance, fire insurance, this insurance, that insurance, and so on. It does not have rates that are ridiculously high. It does not have rates that are peppercorn cheap, for sure. It reflects the cost of insurance. It meets the regulatory standards. It had been falling down and neglected, and government put in all kinds of loads of things for it to underwrite. Gaston Brown came in. He capitalized it. He recapitalized it. State insurance is one of the most respected. Here's one of the reasons I feel you need it. I've mentioned about sports insurance. Too many young people, young men in particular, they want to go and play their cricket and their football. And the moment they leave their house, their mother is telling them, I gotta put jam kase ou like, oh, finish your cut mon ye. I gotta put kisa. I gotta put ball con, you know, like they always in their cricket and so on. Their mother is reminding them that is on my account you'll be and nobody will care for you. I think we need to have coverage for those kinds of things. A young man gets injured in the community while playing cricket. He requires surgery because that is all part of our development. That is all part of keeping the youth away from crime, away from delinquency and all those kinds of things. He goes, he gets a blow in the eye. He gets a detached retina. He requires surgery. Who can fund that here? Who will be prepared to fund it? He doesn't have the coverage. We need a kind of entity that will step in and say, look, this is a public community good, a national good, to ensure that this guy does not go blind because he has no insurance. It's expensive. It's probably in Trinidad you have to go to or bring down a specialist retinal surgeon and so on. We need to have that kind of coverage for sports, for example, not for when you're playing for West Indies, just when you're at the Grosile playing field having a knock with, after hours, after school and so on. We need to think of those kinds of things. And I believe there are some areas we can never depend on the private sector to bail the cat. Government has to do it. And let me tell you in Antigua, for all the thriving that State Insurance Corporation is thriving, all the thriving, there is still the Sagico, there is still the Demerara, Mutual Life, all the other insurance companies are there. And they're not complaining that the presence of a State Insurance Corporation is in any way bleeding them. Real issues powered by Blue Waters. The fellas looking vexed. I have to tell you that. Miguel and Terry. The fellas looking vexed. Because they find I talk too much. Take it away, fellas.
Actually, just look at the comments. That's all, Shelton.
Just to add on the internet. Yesterday at the cinema, I was having difficulty communicating with people,
Well, that happens when you're in a mass crowd event.
No, but even I left the crowd. I went across the road and stuff.
You're talking about the bandwidth and stuff?
Yes. My messages.
Not only bandwidth, the service itself. When you have so many in one.
I just
this thing sucks.
Yeah, I couldn't get through. I couldn't get through to people. You communicating, finding out where you are, where's the motorcade, and I couldn't get through. And I was like, man, this was frustrating. But that was made, Shelton, that is it. Miguel, you want to?
Yeah, guys, it's not much. Not much. What I have to say might just take us into the breaks, and that'll be it for me for that. So I got a call this morning, accompanied by a message, and that was from a friend of mine in VA4.
Yeah.
And they said to me, so that's what you were up to? I don't know why people always think I'm up to some mischief or something.
You look mischievous.
What were you up what was I up to? So then the person shared me a link from Richard Frederick's page. Can I help you with Richard Frederick? Jaquan, you want to put that picture on screen?
Yeah, man.
And that friend of mine from VA4 happened to be in their motorcade while I was heading to the cinema.
Yeah.
And this individual on screen, Pinky King, you see on Richard, Poto Flabo, stalwart, was in my vehicle because I was the one who took her. So the person was wondering, what is Pinky doing
in your vehicle?
In my vehicle with my 2 red stars, and it seems that we're heading to the cinema.
Yeah.
But I will tell you why Pinky. One of the reasons, and one of the primary reasons Pinky was at that Labour Party rally. And Jaquan, you play that video for me, please.
Yeah.
According to people, ça pas flambeau. Because everybody knows my voice as a strong supporter of United Workers' Party, I am not encouraging. Spider needs to stop. I'm going to start from there. You see that make we thing and that back and forth and thing? It is not nice for us. You understand? This is not flambeau. We defend. I'm not saying we shouldn't defend ourselves when the Labour comes with on troops. But you see what is happening right now. I noticed that UWP is going into that same thing, and I would like it as a supporter. I want it to stop because right now it has me wondering. I'm going to say it right here now. This Maple thing have me wondering where I'm at. Because I do not, any party that goes into that Maple and in the gutter thing, I don't like it and I will not support it. Okay? So I am reaching out to UWP supporters. Defend yourselves. Do it with class. Don't go down in the gutters. It is not nice.
Thank you
but
so
I
much
want
for calling.
Spider to stop that. What he's doing. You see that where he's going there? I want him to stop it. Okay?
But Spider
but
is the
my
PR
point.
of the party.
It doesn't matter if all of you are not doing it, but the one, two.
He's
Listen
not a
to me.
candidate,
People
caller.
look up to the United Workers' Party. It doesn't matter if all of you are not doing it, but one to doing it does not look nice. According to people, ça pas flambeau.
We appreciate.
Stop it.
We have another call online, ma'am. Thank you for calling.
Now, you've seen it for yourselves. That was Miss Pinky King. Well, for me, Mrs. Pinky King. Junior King's deceased right now. But that was Pinky on the line with these people. And could you believe the idiocy of Laura Japierre? To say, but Spider is the PRO. In fact, the two of them, the idiocy of the two of them. Spider is the PRO of the party. So if he's the PRO of the party, does he not speak on the party's behalf? And you know, someone may think it's just a partisan thing when I say I'm disappointed in Spider to make him look bad. But then you heard Pinky, and there are people under the comments on Richard's post. You saw people who are former Flubbo said we used to call her anti-Pinky. I remember from the youth, when I was in the youth United Workers Party. Pinky has been in that party since the early 80s, before Stephenson King became a minister for the first time. And you hear these two fools making excuses about his PRO of the party. We expect better from Spider, as someone who felt that he was in line to be prime minister at one time upon the death of Sir John. I mean, as foolish as it was. But if you held yourself in such high regard, why are you going to descend to that level now? So she said it had her wondering where she's at. Well, I don't think it's any secret where she's at now. It's no secret, because this is one thing this woman has always said. Richard Frederick has always treated her well. And people said to me, and the same person who called me said to me, it's a surprise that they were surprised that she did not leave together with Steve and Richard, but the woman loves her party. She loves her, and she still loves her party. But then she will not be a part of that mess that calls itself the United Workers Party now. That's my point on that. So Pinky, welcome, like everybody said to you, welcome. You may not be an SLP supporter, but then you know the side of good governance.
But you describe her as a Poto Flambeau.
A Poto Flambeau?
I think the Poto begin to wash it, you know.
It wash it? Oh.
If the Poto was tall, I think the Poto has reached Butu right now because of a certain fellow working on it diligently.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Butu. Keep it going.
No problem, my brother. Now, secondly, this one is for our current MPs and ministers and MPs. Gentlemen and ladies, there has been a habit. I'm on the ground, and I have been on the ground, whether it be actively on the ground, but whenever you go to a bar, you go somewhere, you're recognized by both Labour and Flubbo supporters, and they will come. They'll naturally, the Flubbos want to goad you into getting vexed, but then the Labours will naturally come and they'll express their concerns to you. There are MPs who are in the habit of, they meet, let's say they go to a funeral, let's meet somewhere, they meet a constituent, and the constituent says this and that, and you give them your number. If you give someone your telephone number as an MP or a minister, that is with the expectation that the person will call you and you shall answer. Do not give them your numbers. And I mean, I'm not talking about they call you at inconvenient times when they know you're probably in cabinet or in parliament or there's meetings going on, that kind of stuff. But then you give them the number and you never take the calls. You make promises, you don't take the call. You don't follow up on those promises. All right? And it's not a matter of thinking that the election victory is secure now, because here's what happens. That person goes and tells somebody else. Well, it may not be the number thing, but they tell somebody else something, and that person may feel like, you know, they've had a similar situation with that very same MP, and it now becomes fact. Even though it might be two different situations, but once the fact that they find a correlation between the two of them, they will say that it becomes now the trademark of that MP. If that person needs something that was within your bounds as an MP, and you know there are avenues in which they can get assistance, don't just take their number and say I'll help you. You have a constituency office. You have if it's a ministerial, something from under your ministerial portfolio, you have your secretaries, you have other people in charge of particular things, because you're not expected to be the one executing anything. So don't give our people false promises, fake promises, give them telephone numbers, and next thing you're not answering the calls. And there are particular MPs who that concern has been expressed about for years, right? Almost from inception. There are others, and the other complaint that you hear, there are MPs who haven't had a community meeting since assuming office. Don't just sit there and think that the election is won. And on that point I made a while ago, while the ultimate goal of the politic may be to win votes, but then it's respect for the people as well. And there's a certain level of disrespect where you give them your number and you say call me, and when you call you never answer the phone. If you cannot help them, say you cannot help them. If you can, if there are ways to get it done, guide them to the ways to get it done.
Or maybe just tell them to message you instead, because the amount of calls that can overwhelm someone in the position of MP and so on, it can be quite bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, but wrap up your points.
My point final is that don't think that the election is won. All right, there is value in having community meetings, not just because the election is coming. Throughout your tenure, the people, you need to be seen, at least seen as you are keeping abreast, not only for your constituency day, but you are keeping abreast with what's going on in the constituency. Yes, you have surrogates, but your people need to see and at least hear from you still in that respect.
Okay. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We take our first break, and when we come back, I suspect it's gonna be Terry Stone.
All right.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufriere, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Clans Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufriere, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thanks for staying with The Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. And as I told you, We'll be turning to Terry, who I think is overloaded with stuff. His cup runneth over. Terry.
But before we go into any heavy stuff, well, I don't think we'll be heavy today, but we're rejoicing today. I need to big up one of my friends, Picture Free, a handsome guy. He has the correct color shirt. He's there posing at Government House. Is that, yeah, that looks like Government House to me. Correct color shirt. It's his birthday today, and I must, because today he has invited me for lunch.
Us.
And drink. Yeah,
us.
well, us.
All right.
Right. So I want to big up Mr. Daisy. Sprekill.
Cow dead.
We'll be seeing you.
Of course we shall.
I mean, afterwards, Empire should be picking me up. I have no vehicle these days. So we shall see you. And I'm thanking you for lunch in advance, man. So, Sprekill.
Happy birthday, my brother.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your day. I know you're having a fantastic time. The gang will be together. And we'll be all right, man. All right?
That's a younger picture of him, you know. He's not so slim anymore.
Actually, I think that's a recent picture, you know. Recent picture. That's a recent picture. So, he's doing fine. All right. So, that's Sprekill. All right? Now, yesterday was fantastic. As I was just saying you, yesterday I felt I was suffocating, man. The crowd, I've never seen anything like that. I was under pressure. So at a certain time, I had to come back a bit, you know, breathe, take it in. And at the wrong time, my phone failed me, man. My video failed me. But don't worry. I got a little picture, and I think we need to introduce John Paul properly. But first, before we do a proper introduction, I'll do the proper introduction first. Video 2, Shakwan. Here we have, let me just frame that properly. Alice Mida, you know Alice Mida, right?
Yeah, man. Alice and I went to school together.
She went to school together.
Before A-level.
She's a lifelong educator, and lifelong educator. She's an author. She has written, I think, 4 novels. Son of the Soil, Silent Screams. I'm trying to remember the others. Won't you help me? I think the Requiem, yeah, that's the latest one, the Requiem. So if you don't, you could get it. She's an author. Right now, she's a guidance counselor at the Babylon Secondary School. But it is not her. She's not playing politics. John Paul Estefan was honored on Saturday by the St. Lucia Teachers Union because, you know, when you retire and you give up, there's a retirement dinner. I did not see Elisha over there, so that means I believe he has not done what he said he had done. I believe, okay, I might be wrong. Maybe he did not show up. But let's have a proper introduction. You know, we reintroducing John Paul Estefan, a man of substance. So let video 2 roll, please.
John Paul Estefan has dedicated over 33 years to the field of education in St. Lucia. He began his career as a teacher at the Debarra Primary School from 1992 to 2001. He then moved to the Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School, where he continued his teaching career from 2001 to 2003. From 2003 to 2008, Mr. Estefan returned to the Debarra Primary School to once again serve his community as principal of the Debarra Primary School. Since 2008, Mr. John Paul Estefan has been a lecturer at the Southern Louis Community College, contributing significantly to higher education. Beyond his educational roles, John Paul has been actively involved in the St. Lucia Teachers Union. He served as second vice president from 2006 to 2012, chaired the Sports and Social Committee, represented the SLTU on the National Community Foundation, and was a member of the SLTU negotiation team. From 2016 to 2018, he held the position of first vice president of the SLTU and chaired the education committee. His extensive experience reflects a strong commitment to advancing education and advocating for educators throughout St. Lucia. Ladies, teachers, retirees, let us hear it for John Paul Estefan.
Yes, yesterday was a momentous day. The turnout for John. I mean, you could just feel the vibe in Babonneau. We have the right man. The accolades there, I mean, the tributes, a lot was left out. But he's been a man of the community. He has served this community well. And yesterday, I think, Babonneau, you did justice. You showed the world that we have a man of substance. We're not pash man, you know, coming and speak poetry. Then, yeah, you understand? He knows he's not a big talker. He's a worker, and he'll be on the ground. And the representation, he'll continue to give us good representation. Babonneau has always had good representation, you know. I'm not going to say no. From the time I came up there, it was Michael Gaspar. Then Felix finished there. We had my partner Doof, you know, Ezekiel. We have had, they have all been working well. Doof, we have had Alvina, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyet. And now I could tell you, John Paul Estefan is going to carry the baton and he's going to continue to do well for the constituency of Babonneau. And there are testimonials, but I think I'll leave that for another time. We have had our fun and we're getting ready for Kifo. Kifo on Sunday is going to be, I mean, that's the last. Well, somebody told me this morning last time. I said, no, that's the one before the last. You know what's going to be the last rally?
Market Steps.
No.
St. Jude.
Hey, St. Jude. You need to, you have a ring comb in your hair, man.
No, no, someone took exception. Someone took exception to me calling out the MPs. But
no.
So St. Jude, yeah.
So, Kifo, man, now let me tell you something. Bradley, I'm giving you a break today, just for today. I don't think you need to be. I'm happy today. You see, from Chosel, Labrie, the Vieux-Fort, Miku, we have to vote with a vengeance, you know. That DSH. And maybe on Sunday, somebody should read excerpts from that DSH to see what Bradley has done to Vieux-Fort. You're calling all radio stations, making it look like Shelton and I line on you. Bro, I'll give you a break today, Bradley. But I'll be back with you. Well, I hope I'll be here tomorrow. If I have my vehicle, I have no vehicle. Okay. I'm at the mercy of people. But I'll give you a break today. But from Choiseul, Labrie, Vieux-Fort North and South, Mico South, Mico North, we're voting with, because that DSH deal, that tie-up you have, Vieux-Fort, bro, you gotta get back. Now, I want to play a little video of somebody who is suffering from shandamyelitis. You know these days this man can't leave the country. You know he likes to fly.
Whom does God seek to destroy?
He cannot leave the country. He cannot leave the country, but yeah. And Shanda has not even given the man an injection yet, you know. The man is starting to speak the truth. And in speaking the truth, he's tying up himself, he's contradicting himself, saying one thing and another in the same sentence. So I want you to listen to video 5. Listen to a man speak the truth, because Shanda is on his case. You know, shandamyelitis, he has shandamyelitis now. He doesn't know what to do with himself. So he's now speaking the truth. Let's go, buddy.
They claim that we never gave them any money. Alan Chasney makes a shocking admission. He finally admits that when he was Prime Minister, he deliberately deprived the 6 duly elected SLP MPs of CDP funds.
I can look in the camera and say categorically to everybody, money did not go to the MPs, money did not go to the MPs, money did not go to the MPs.
He ensured the CDP funds for constituencies represented in Parliament by SLP MPs were placed under the control of state entities, managed by his UWP operatives.
Monies were spent in those constituencies primarily through the town councils or through national ministries.
So, what's the difference between Alan's UWP and the SLP? Under former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, opposition MPs were guaranteed access to CDP funds to support their constituencies. Opposition MPs never had to go through rejected candidates for CDP funds.
I can look in the camera and say categorically to everybody, money did not go to the MPs.
In 2021, Philip J. Peer becomes Prime Minister. Peer had every reason to return the favor to Alan and Bradley. But what did he do? Tell us, Alan.
They decided that they were going to give myself and Bradley an allocation. So initially the allocation was $100,000. That's what I got.
That's right, folks. Philip J. Peer is nothing like Alan and his vindictive UWP gang.
And then when I started realizing it was $100,000 every quarter.
Together, Alan and Bradley have collected about $3.2 million in CDP funds from Peer's SLP government.
It's $400,000 for the year, right?
Alan and Bradley continue to enjoy unfettered access to $400,000 yearly for their constituencies.
I was being given the ability to decide where the money should be spent and who the contractors would be.
St. Lucia, are you seriously going to re-elect Alan and his vindictive UWP gang to bring us back to the days of state-sponsored victimization?
Yes, my people, you heard him? What are you saying there? I didn't give them the sack. Put a picture on. I didn't give them the Saxima, you know. But I gave Saxima, you know, and the Saxima was there, but you know, because that's what Shauna said. By your Saxima, so I gave Saxima, you know, but I did not give it to them. I gave it to, you know, primarily through whatever. That's why you saw Fortuna Belrose giving out laptops to children of supporters of the UWP. That's why she was able to do all kinds of projects. They're trying to undermine the parliamentary representative at the time, who was at the time the present Prime Minister, and in all the other constituencies, you know, gave people who lost elections to spend CDP money. That's it. So I didn't really give. I gave them the Saxima, but I did not give them the Saxima. I mean, Sandra has this man talking all kinds of things now. Because he's seen the writing is on the wall, and Sandra, keep up the pressure. I mean, you heard Sheldon saying for a long time this man was not put under pressure, but right now he's feeling the heat. He can't fly out of St. Lucia. He has to sit still here because he has to be here and photo ops, but I ain't working because the people understand. Me say you're not for us. You have never been for us. So right now you have to come and depale. I gave Saxima, but I didn't give it to the ministers. But the Saxima was there, and they could have used the Saxima. But now I'm getting endless money. What have you done with the money, Bradley? I don't want to tackle you, but that warehouse you had built yet, Bradley. You have to build that warehouse, Bradley. You have to account for that 1.6 million. Well, it's almost 2 million now because it's $400,000 a year. It's 5 years, almost 2 million. What have you done with that, Bradley? What road have you fixed? What? Tell the people of Choiseul that. And people in Choiseul, don't be fooled, you know. Don't be fooled. I see you there and take the money. Yes, take the t-shirt, the little $500 in the t-shirt. But when you go to the polls, remember, Made is a man who so loved you fought. You understand? He signed away that. Made is a man who stood by while Radio St. Lucia was destroyed. Don't forget that. Made is a man who stood by while the subvention to the St. Lucia National Trust was taken away. Made is a man who stood by while the Blind Welfare Association was starved of the Blind Welfare Association was starved of funds. There is a man who stood by while the distress fund was zero rated Well, I know they're fat. But zero there, no monies. They took out all the little thing there. There's a man who stood by while the Larry Seuss Health Center was not constructed, although there was grant financing. Not a loaner. Grant, I mean, that has to be the... You can't describe that kind of wickedness. People gave you money to build a wellness center. But because it was represented by Sean, you realize that's a pièce maximum from it. You have built a wellness center and Bradley stood there. Wickling. And he allowed that. There's a man who stood by while the mayor of Castries took single mother strays and dumped them in Marsha, because for Shasta, Marsha is nothing. You know, that's what they say. If you want to match, go to Marsha. That's how he thinks. The racist, that's how he thinks. And Bradley, and you want me to give you a break? But you just start calling talk shows and say the ex-principal. Man. I know you want to sue me, but remember, if you want to sue me, you know what I'm drinking? I know your favorite.
Bounty
and Coke.
You know my favorite drink? I don't drink rum and Coke.
Oh, you know my favorite drink? Chivas Regal, 12. Johnny Walker Black, 12. Duas, 12. I don't drink rum, but if you have to give rum, make sure it is El Dorado, 12. Once it have 12 in it, I'm good.
Terry, I'm not sure if you missed it, Shelton, if you missed it, or the viewers missed it. But at the same time, the snake oil salesman in him came out because he tried to make it look. Yeah. Because he spoke with disdain. He's like, and now they decide to give 100. They decide to give. So they decided to give me some money, right? And then I realized it was only $400, 100,000.
Yeah.
I was getting on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to slither his way in to make it look like that the initiative, whereas he was giving nothing, nothing at all. That even the fact that even if Philip and them giving me something, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So let's not be fooled by Alan Michael Chasney anymore. In fact, I don't think we are fooled anymore.
Let me just respond to somebody on the live there says they did not know about the subvention taken away from the Blind Welfare Association. Let me tell you something. I have a list of all the sins committed by Alan Chasney against the state. And if I will be doing it, I hope my producer on one of the Tuesday or Thursday shows will allow me to do that, because I know Tuesday and Thursday specifically tailored to highlight our achievements. And we're doing that. But one Thursday or one of them, I must list all the sins. And yes, I mean, the last time I went for a checkup, I saw the Cubans, but I went to the Blind Welfare Association too, because it's $80 at the time for a visit, you know. And one thing, I said, this fella's checked my eyes so bad. One time I got afraid. I find there's too much test. You know, Sheldon as a man, you really don't like doctors. And when you go there, I say, this test, that test. When you go, you go by Kipabola, man. You know, but it was very thorough. And then I came out, they gave me my prescription. Unlike when you go to these people, you don't get the prescription. I got my prescription, I have it on my phone, and I went and I think I bought the glasses from them. I'm not sure. But I got my prescription, etc. And they were very thorough. There was a Cuban there, there was this there, and I mean, I was like, boy, because I find I took too much time there. But that was good. You took out the subvention to the Blind Welfare Association, Gaza? People... And Met coming to repackage it and they vote him, and Titus and them fellas they're backing Met. You serious about that? Yeah, I'll list the sins. Don't worry, one day I'll just come, and because these are sins. These are crimes against the people. You know, St. Lucia National Trust, Mr. Defoe, Julian Hunt, Sir Julian Hunt.
Yeah, Compton.
Sir John. I mean, these fellas came, they saw the importance of that institution. I could just feel that because you don't like the man's daughter, because she expressed her democratic right. She you know, you decided that you don't like Tulsi. Tulsi is more of a, Tulsi has contributed more to, anyway, so let's do that.
I have a question.
I don't want to get very.
Shelton, I have a question for United Workers Party supporters, those who are endorsing Alan's nonsense, who have endorsed his 5+ years in government. I'd like to know whether each St. Lucian, is just an individual unto themselves without any connections to anybody or anything within the society. Because you cannot tell me that no United Workers Party supporter has a relative who was a home caregiver, a relative who was a national trust, a staff member of the national trust, you know, a relative who was victimized, openly victimized without apology by
a child's laptop was taken away.
A child you have a niece, a nephew, a child going to school.
Yes.
Who gets a laptop? That's one less burden on you.
Took it away. Yes. So, Miguel, we have to list the sins.
I have
a whole, must be 100 sins that man has committed against the state. I mean, from the Blind Welfare Association, Shelton, this to me, that's an unpardonable sin, You're going to do that to the Blind Welfare Association. Okay, I could understand solution as Shelton, you could make it, no, it's not good. You could say, well, these fellas can try to, the Blind Welfare Association, you're taking out the subvention. But we know why, because the debt to GDP ratio was 101%. You could argue until Jesus comes. When Girard has documented it and he has shown the proof. We were in deep doo-doo. That is why you could not finance some of the things you'll find. You had to have balls to buy TVs for the policemen. That was our state. That was our state. You'll hit that. But the contingency liabilities have to be factored in. And the World Bank, I think, say, so when they recalibrate it, it's 101. So for every $100 we gain, we had to spend $101. So when this man told you the country was broke, we have not understood the magnitude of that statement, Because this man, and it was not COVID, the country was broke from 2017 and 17. He has already said, and we have no more money. The country is broke. And COVID came now and COVID exposed our tail. Because after 2 weeks of declaring the pandemic, everything tanked. He could not even pay income support. Thank God for NIC that says, nah man, we cannot do that to our people. Let's give. He could not. All the borrowing and stuff, where? What did you do with it? You have no projects to show. You have nothing to show for it. $500 million was borrowed. And we cannot, nothing was showed. You cannot show anything. Maggie Poete. That was a sin against the people. Every Tuesday, you go to Parliament, is a Poete. And what? We can't point to anything that you did with that money. But a lot of people got richer. Very, very, very richer.
And still are.
And I'm still going to say, on the old set, on the old box you have in sent, $2 million was paid out to somebody for doors. There is not one door in that box.
One door in that box.
Not one door. Special prosecutor,
But let me ask you, Terry, not let me ask. I don't think it's enough that we say it here on talk shows, on social media, and we ask Alan and Bradley to account for the monies that were given to them by CDP, through CDP.
What's your mic?
Sorry, I think, I was saying I don't think it's enough for us to stay here on talk shows and on social media platforms to ask that Alan and Bradley account for it. We have 15 parliamentarians in there, including the 2 independents. I think that a motion can be passed, can be moved to ask these 2 to account for the funds that were given to them.
Pressure must be brought to bear.
Let me tell you this. We almost at the point of the break. But here's what I always find myself in a bit of a quandary. And it is a skill in itself for us to ensure that as much as we are outraged, as much as we are incensed, justifiably, against the infractions, against the misdeeds, against the transgressions of the United Workers' Party, the fact that they don't want to own them and take responsibility and show any remorse about them up to now, to this day, one of the greatest risks and tricks in it is that in doing so, we may give so much energy and attention towards lambasting them that we underserve all the good things that in 4 short years that this government has done. Gentlemen, if we now start to try, Terry will say youth economy. Miguel will say minimum wage. Shelton will say increasing pensions and whatever, and the health and OKEU paying off its debts and doing that. And we will go on and we'll do that. And eventually mental exhaustion, or we just will not be able to, plus people will join in us. But to that we must commit ourselves, no matter how innovating it is to us, to highlight the wonderful things. These fellas come in and talk about righting the wrongs. But that has been the raison d'etre of this government So many things that those guys did that were not right, and even things they never conceived of to make sure the police are properly equipped. And when you start and you don't immediately see results, you stay the course. There's one thing about Philip J. Pierre, they stay the course. The trajectory on which St. Jude Hospital is, and on and on and on and on we go to fix up all the malpropté that they did and they left behind is something that we must always hold up to our face. Because a lot of people will tell you, they never knew government could do so many things in such a short space of time. That things UWP just never had any clue. And this has been Philip J. Pierre's modus operandi, Remember after Hurricane Thomas? All those little places in the back and elsewhere, people used to call them balcons. Labour came in 2011, a whole year after Hurricane Thomas. And Philip J. Pierre as Minister of Infrastructure, if it was not Bailey Bridge in Ancillary and Canaries, it was fixing up the Badland thing. Philip J. Pierre has always moved at lightning speed and with astonishing efficiency what he does.
That's right.
And this is the same thing he has done. Looked at the things that are important to St. Lucians, fix them, take care of them, and to focus on the people, the benefit for the people, not the pie in the sky. Alan Shastey always believes there is a magic bullet where he can throw everything at it. He can throw good money after bad, a boxing in paradise, a DSH horse racing, all his fanciful pie in the sky things that he comes with, and he believes there. And this guy throws, his father was right. The guy will throw any amount of money at one thing, at an Ojolak, and he expects it will not deliver. What we have been talking about for years, the diversification of the economy, the decentralization. You need to have office buildings in Beaufort. You go in and stop administrative center, but yet you're talking about decentralization and so on. This is the kind of thing. Do things, but do them with a practicum attached to them so that you can see the way that you're rolling them out and the way that you're implementing them. We have to take a break right now. Let's take it, and I want to propose that when we come back, no matter how much we have in us that we're bubbling,
we have to
say
open the legs.
let us share the space and the time with the people who are there with us all the time. Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. We'll be back shortly.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Issues powered by Blue Waters is on, and the telephone lines are open for your calls. We'll also be reading your messages. I notice you're making use of the WhatsApp messaging links a lot more now, so you're getting accustomed to it. The WhatsApp number that you can call us on is 487-9849, 758-487-9849, and you can call us on the landline, which is 4533-911. For the WhatsApp messages, go to two websites, one for Real FM Radio, one for NBC Television, realfmofficial.com or NBCSLU.com. You'll see the WhatsApp messaging links there. Just click on them. Box opens, text box, type your text message in it, hit the send button, and right as we're watching at that computer screen to my right, in front of Jaquan, the message will appear so we can get it, okay? Okay, start sending in your calls right now. If not, we're going to talk our way through to 2 o'clock, and when you want to call, we ain't paying you no mind. Cornelia, you've been warned, You have been warned. Do we have a call on the line? All right, so no call on the line.
I just wanted to make that position clear again, because there seemed to be a bit of backlash to what I said. I said, and I want to make it clear, the politicians, the MPs who give people their telephone numbers, knowing well they're not going to take the calls, if it's assistance they're looking for in whatever form or whatever, direct them to the right resources, the right resource people. But likewise, there are also complaints about the people staffing those constituency offices, which our MPs need to look in. Some of them, that there are complaints about them, how they treat the people. I think we have a call.
All right, let's take our first call. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Warning acknowledged.
Warning acknowledged. Okay.
Yes.
What happened to you? Tired? You by top movement?
Got somewhere last week.
No less.
Say Captain Dimashline.
Okay.
Consecutively, Captain Dimashline.
For the first time, Mullah has become Molas. Okay, go ahead. I understand.
No. Mullah, man.
Okay. Ulas.
A mad fact for the usual. I woke up this morning and I went to town. I went to the school where I'm supposed to vote. And I'm being told today is not election day. So I'm telling the security, it's Monday. And he's arguing with me that today is not election day.
Because elections, we got it from the best source possible. Yeah. Elections will be on a Monday.
Yeah, man.
So why the man have to do that? Don't tell us election is on a Monday. You're telling us that on a Sunday night. The following day is Monday. Everybody making final chance. There are people that calling me and telling me they are sleeping yet. And we know if one person is traveling these days because of the doctor, he probably did not sleep at all last night, wondering which Monday is going to be. But Shelton, you see the crowd, my God, man, it's increasing exponentially. Me must every year go with. But I want to ensure that we don't just crowd up rallies. We crowd up the polling stations on election day. We cannot wait for Mr. Pierre to actually tell us which Monday that we have to wake up from the Sunday night and go and vote. And we waiting patiently. Me, as a fortune, a southerner, waiting patiently for two things. For me to tell us when we go into St. Jude, because St. Jude will determine what kind of skill we have to get for Operation Pezevo. And you have people just intimidating me, telling me I'm looking for trouble with you when it's the other way around.
And the elections are next month, eh?
Excuse me?
Elections are next month. Don't you think they should just give up now, man? We know elections are next month, the end of November.
You think the elections they used to the skills they used to use at the way bridge on the dock to weigh the banana?
Yes, I think that's what we're going to need.
You think those things they're still good? They're still working?
I think these things decided to take a pause and wait for Operation Pezevo.
Okay. because to me, that's the kind of skill you'll need, the thing that the whole vehicle
that's what they do. Now, on a serious note, in this election, we'll have a lot of people based on the candidates, excuse me, of the Flabo. They will not necessarily be voting Labour,
Yeah.
There are people that say they're not voting for their candidate because they cannot see themselves supporting that person or individual, but they will not stay home and not vote. So they will be voting against the candidate. Operation Pezevo, island-wide, in full swing.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a very good word of caution, and I'm happy that I have more people sounding it. When you see you on a high and you're floating on a hype craft, not a hovercraft, a hypercraft of the rallies, of the launchings, of the motorcades and so on, it can be a little challenging to come down from that high and to get into a kind of a humdrum normality and so on. It can be a little difficult because you're accustomed to the music and the swing and the dancing. And then to come to the ordinary, almost boring, almost kind of, putting you in a kind of a twilight zone on a line and so on. And that's the adjustment we need to make. Because on it's not just on the line, Election day, you're not supposed to have any rally, any motorcade, anything there. I don't even think it's advised for you to be wearing, party colors and this kind of thing. I can't remember if it's against the law. But no obvious political activity. And we are accustomed to the hype of the campaign. Election day is going there and having endurance, having patience, having buoyo to stay there, even when things moving slowly, even when it's not sexy, even when, that's why I think about internet service, because that's one of the things that can make the time pass for you. To be on your phone, to be on your device, you understand? To be WhatsApping or whatever it is while you're on the line. And then all of a sudden, no signal. Young people especially sensitive to that kind of thing. We need to do something about it. Because these are some of the things that sustain you and that keep you in terms of your patience, in terms of your endurance. The internet service needs to get better in this country. And it better get better well before, polling day. I better see 5G, rolling out. I'm just joking on that one. We have a call on the line. Real issues, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay, and you?
Oh, doing okay.
Nothing, but I just need some clarification. Yesterday, I was watching from the beginning until end, but when Philip Japier was speaking, I was on overseas call with my sister, and he said something about $600. Is it for all pensioners or government pensioners?
Answer.
Well,
a pensioner will answer you now.
It was mentioned in the estimates, the appropriations bill. It is for government pensioners, as far as I know. That's in November. I cannot speak for NIC pensioners as yet, but that is for government pensioners in November. Because he has done that before. It's not the first time.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I just wanted it to be clarified.
Yeah, it's government pensioners. Hopefully NIC at some point, because NIC is rolling in dough, you know.
Let me tell you. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm voting for Mr. Pierre.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting another call. Real issues. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, go ahead. There seems to be a little delay, but go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I just want to take a chance and wish all the Canadians on the Facebook Live a happy Thanksgiving Day. We're at home. We're listening. So everybody on the live from Canada, happy Thanksgiving Day. And I just want to make 2 points really quickly and get off your ear. My first point is last Thursday, Terry tackled something that is very passionate to me, and I think that we need to push it more in the fact that people tend to say stuff like, I'm not into politics. I'm not into politics. And you get it a lot from like young people. And I think we need to educate people that you can't use partisan politics and politics interchangeably.
Thank you.
Right? So partisan politics is UWP, SLP. Politics is what governs our very breath in the country. Right? So taxes, the road that we walk on, the vacation that your employer gives you, the minimum wage that your employer pays you. It governs the very fabric of our society, right? So when you get people saying, I'm not into politics, excuse me, this is what has you living and breathing, apart from God, that is, in society. So we need to push that agenda a lot, so people cannot use this interchangeably. My second point, before I run off, is you know when you have a petty cash, so you're working for a company and you have petty cash, right? When they give you the petty cash, when you have to account for that petty cash, you have to bring all your receipts back to them.
Yes.
Right? Am I right?
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
Correct.
You are right.
Right, exactly. So my issue, when I look on Facebook and I see people are making a big fun basically about Bradley and Chaffney, what did y'all do with the money? No. Who is taking accountability for the money?
Thank you.
Where are the receipts?
Right.
Thank you.
Taxpayers' money. Where are the receipts? I mean, I live in Canada, right? But my parents, my cousins, my auntie, they're paying taxes. Where are the receipts for their money? I don't, like, it's a joke. Oh, what are you doing with the money? Who is taking accountability for this thing?
Yes.
It's not about where is the money. So there's nobody higher than Alan and Bradley to say, could you bring the receipts? I want to know if you fixed the community center. I want to know if you fixed the road. I want to know if you bought a T-shirt for a child. I want to know if you bought school books for a child. Where is the accountability? Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thanksgiving again to the Canadians.
Let me say something. I think because we are supporters of the government, we are sometimes a little timid about saying this.
Yeah.
I believe the same way we call out special prosecutor, I think in matters like that, this thing has been in the public domain
for a while.
There's no private
Yes.
precautions about it. People by now, somebody from Accountant General's Department or Director of Audit should be able to tell us that, look, the accountability for the utilization of the CDP funds is something that has to be submitted regularly.
Yeah.
So we have it. And to make it available and to publish it. It is of Alan Chastain's secret or private business you're putting out. This kind of thing should have been put out already so people know that this is, and people may have unrealistic expectations of how the CDP should be. They believe it means that Alan Chasney can undertake to go and build a community center. I don't think he can do that.
Yes.
I think he has to pay respect to the ministry responsible for local government or whatever it is that's responsible for those things. He has to spend them in a certain manner, whether he's not just spending it but accounting for it and spending it in a manner that is stipulated in whatever the conditions or regulations are. I think by now some arm of the state should either have engaged on this or be made to engage by cabinet/ministerial directive. We have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good day.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, I miss you guys. I've been missing in action. Been very busy lately. It's good to hear you guys. Prime Minister, prefer chairman to put like offer. But like he said, he's a mystery, they cannot read him. So I'm just letting him know that we are ready in the People's Republic of Labrador. If he was Swazi, la flag, we can fonder Swazi too much. We turn out to send a strong message to Bradley. We can see that cycling from time once and for all. We can see Operation Remove Bradley.
Rincom.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Yes, have a good one.
Thank you very much. I think Alva's real word was nuga washi. Washi not Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We are still taking your messages until 2 o'clock. The number to dial for your WhatsApp calls is 487-9849, and don't forget you can get us on the landline 4533-911. You're on the air, caller. Go ahead. For your WhatsApp calls. Hello. Yeah, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
It's 487. Good afternoon.
Yes, we are hearing you. Go ahead.
You could hear me, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. This morning I was coming up from Grosile coming down. You see the two signs they put at Marysill?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Badawash.
Right, because I'm a taxi driver. Badawash. I don't know, definitely they'll have to put the police there, in the corner, somewhere there. Because a lot of the guys still breaking the law.
They were two this morning.
They had an accident this morning. So I want to talk on behalf of Mr. King. I think he's the one that's in charge of that. If he could put a police there to guide them, because the guys from Grosile are still doing it, the minibus are still doing it.
To speak on that as well.
Get the police to check on the fellas there, because that place is going to cause a lot of accident, because they're taking the chance, still taking the chance there. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, caller. And on that point, I really wanted to make that point, because this morning on my way down, there were actually two police officers there on bikes. I guess they were enforcing that no right turn sign. But then here's the thing. This morning, I almost ended up in an accident this morning because a white woman in her vehicle, Terry, she was smoking her cigarette, exiting from Northwest by traffic and crossing those lanes to head up north. Yeah. Then there are other people who actually stop. They're northbound. On the Shock Hill by St. James Club. Mm-hmm. There are people exiting to go into town. They actually stop for them. Mm-hmm. Now this is a dangerous practice, and the police needs to enforce that kind of thing. Make an example of those they see doing it and turn them back if needs be.
Yeah, take that call again. Yeah. You have another call?
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Real Issues.
Real Issues.
Yeah.
Can you put me on there, please?
Yes, you are on air, caller.
The only problem I have with the program, Mr. Shelton Daniel, that's the time for callers to call, and you keep on talking to all the time going. You don't have much time, and all the time going. You keep on talking, and you're getting less calls. Yeah, that's something you have to stop, man. At least give the callers the chance to talk.
All right, caller.
Thank you.
Do you have another call? Let me just explain something quickly. This morning, somebody asked me about the spending for the rallies on the launches. Mm-hmm. People believe that it's taxpayers' money. It is not taxpayer funded. Let me say that again. These are not your tax dollars being used. Parties have their source of financing, and that does not come from your taxes. So I want to disabuse your mind of that. No tax. I mean, we are not reckless.
We're not UWP.
Mr. Pierre is not a corrupt man. and he will never, ever, ever condone
Never allow that.
taxpayers' money to fund partisan political activities. So these rallies are funded strictly from the party's coffers. They save the money, whatever, the source of financing, but it has nothing to do with your tax dollars. So I know the Flabos are peddling this kind of nonsense because, you know, they are in the shade. The thing, no class, unprofessional, and we execute, just standard. But that has nothing to do with taxpayers' dollars.
Terry, you know, if we were to pass campaign financing laws here, who would be running scared? Not the Labour Party. Not the Labour Party. I think it's well documented. You have a call?
Yeah.
There we go. Good afternoon, Real Issues. How can we help you?
Hi, good day.
Good day.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Wonderful.
All right.
Let me tell you something, If you come election, man, we're taking everything. Never put it back. No bag it on
Jikrin kom Bradley Nukapon.
No. Let me finish, And I'll always reiterate that point. Shastney was very successful.
He's what, sorry?
That is the hashtag, yeah. Shastney was very successful in attempting or trying to wipe out the lower class, creep the middle class, and dig up the upper class. That's the only successful thing he did.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller.
Thank you very much. Tell Guy we don't want him for Castries Southeast. Listen all the way. Tell them the mood is red. That's one of the messages coming on our WhatsApp board. Another one says, afternoon, Shelton, I plan on coming home to vote. My intention is to come the day of elections. Someone said that I must be on island 6 days before elections to be able to vote. Is that correct?
Never heard that. Never heard that. Never heard that.
I think Denzel Douglas, one of the things he used to do was to bring in plain loads of people who qualified to vote on election day. And then one day there was bad weather in the United States. You know, the winter, a lot of the flights could not come. And I think that seriously affected because a lot of people in the diaspora. We have another call on the line? Do we? Yes, you're on the air. Real Issues, go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Caller, are you there? All right, that must be Bradley.
He says we will see. We will see.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I need your protection, you know.
You need what?
I need your protection.
For what?
What happened? Someday I spoke about Alan Shastney on the Richard Frederick show. And the following day, helicopter come hovering over my house, shaking up my house. You see, now that was done underneath the Alan Shastney incumbency during his reign. He was so vindictive and fearful of people speaking about him in a demo. That is serious, you know. And I spoke about how I thought about his psychotic analysis and his stature. And the following the helicopter would over my home, lower than normal, shaking up my house. That's intimidation, you know. I need your protection. Thank you.
Okay, my friend. Thank you very much. All right, Real Issues, and we're almost at the end of the program, so I don't know if we're going to get any more calls. Maybe I should just cap it there. And so, gentlemen, parting words from you.
Yeah, well, nothing more to say, but St. Lucians with a good head on their shoulders know where to vote. Okay. If you don't vote SLP, there's something wrong with you.
All right, Terry.
Well, I don't think I can add much to that. I mean, we, like you said, Shelton, we will continue to highlight the achievements, and the list of goodies is so long. But I will also talk about the sins of Alan Shastney and his regime against the people and state of St. Lucia.
And by the way, quickly, yes, let me add, what was surprising for me? I saw Andy Daniel last night. That wasn't surprising. He was at the rally.
Okay.
But I see Leon Theodore still driving around with her Flabo stickers on the back of her vehicle and her bands after that treatment she got from Alan.
This is okay.
All right.
I'll tell you something. There is what I call the typical flamboy, and there's nothing they like more than the prospect of petty lache labor, And so sometimes they see everything wrong with the leadership, with the organization of the party, with its policies, its philosophies, and so on. They find everything wrong. But as election day comes, if they see a little glimmer of hope that they will be able to sock it to the Labour Party They kick every can down the road. Can about leadership, about organization, and their thing is, Monsieur, and pete lache labor. That's what they think of. There is that kind of tribal clannishness about them, and they just want to sock it to labor, and that's what. There's that type. There's the type that says, look, within reason, I cannot reasonably follow. They will either not go and vote, or they will bite their lip and vote labor. We have to roll now, folks. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Till tomorrow. Goodbye.
2025 work. Double Daily Grand, 7, 8, 10, 12. Big 4, 2, 6, 4, 4. Big for Multi-X, FD. Pick 2, 4, 8. Pick 2 Multi-X, 2X. 1 off, 8, 2, 2. Lucky 3, 4, 2, 9. Lucky 3 Multi-X, 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton